Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. If you really want to understand how high-performance minds work, well, look no further than the armed forces. Today, we're exploring something absolutely fascinating. We are looking at how the exact same cognitive frameworks used to win Olympic gold medals are literally being deployed to build bulletproof tactical resilience in the military. It's this incredible intersection of elite sports psychology and military readiness, and honestly, it completely changes how we think about mental toughness. So let me ask you this. Have you ever watched an Olympic event and just marveled at the absolute unshakable mental focus of the athletes? I mean, it's truly something to behold, right? But here is a crazy piece of history you might not know. The modern pentathlon, the event with equestrian riding, pistol shooting, swimming, fencing, and cross-country running, it was actually created by the founder of the modern Olympic Games specifically to simulate the grueling, high-pressure experience of a 19th century cavalry soldier caught behind enemy lines. So from the very beginning, both athletes and soldiers have had to perform in these highly complex, dynamic environments, making rapid-fire decisions with incomplete information, all under immense stress. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive fundamental difference in the consequences. When an athlete makes a mistake, or, their focus wavers under pressure, they might lose a medal, they might lose a game. But when a soldier makes a mistake in combat, they might lose their life. And that is the core problem we're looking at today. For decades, we've spent months physically and tactically preparing military personnel. But if we fail to train their minds with that exact same rigor, we are basically sending them into chaotic environments fundamentally unprotected. Which brings us to an absolutely startling statistic. What if I told you that the United States Army is currently the #1 employer of mental performance consultants in the entire world? No way, right? But it's true. They employ more sports psychologists and performance experts than literally any professional sports league on Earth. And to understand why they've made this massive, game-changing investment, we really have to understand the environment these soldiers operate in. Section 1. The cost of chaos. The magnitude of stressors present in military situations is, frankly, unfathomable to the average person. Just imagine, for a second, gearing yourself up to go on a patrol in Afghanistan. Now imagine doing that the day after you lost a member of your own squad to a sniper, fully knowing that the sniper is still out there, just waiting. The sheer psychological weight of that scenario is staggering. If a soldier relies purely on physical toughness and tactical drills in that kind of environment, that pressure is going to completely overwhelm them. It triggers what's called limbic system overdrive. This is when the physiological stress response kicks in so aggressively that their focus just shatters and their decision-making is severely compromised. Relying only on physical training leaves soldiers incredibly vulnerable to this biological response, and in the field, that can lead to devastating, fatal errors. And the scary part? The damage doesn't stop when the mission ends. Without elite cognitive conditioning, without what we can essentially call mental armor, this extreme psychological pressure leads to severe long-term trauma. It leaves soldiers highly susceptible to chronic burnout and post-traumatic stress disorder once they finally return home. The stakes are physical, for sure, but the battle is deeply, deeply psychological. Okay, let's take a quick breather. Have you ever missed a 4-foot putt on a golf course and felt like it was absolute life or death in the moment? Pro golfer Lee Trevino once joked, "Pressure is betting $10 on a match when you only have 5 in your wallet." It's a funny quote, right? It perfectly highlights how our brains can completely magnify low-stakes situations. But just contrast that humorous idea of pressure with the actual literal survival stakes faced by military personnel. Man, it really puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? Part 2, the tactical athlete solution. Okay, let's dive into this. Recognizing that soldiers face the same cognitive hurdles as elite competitors, but obviously with infinitely higher stakes, the military made a massive paradigm shift. They officially started treating soldiers as tactical athletes. They realized they needed a system to systematically bridge the gap between physical readiness and mental toughness. Enters CSF Prep. That stands for the Comprehensive Soldier Fitness Performance and Resilience Enhancement Program. This is a revolutionary initiative. And what's absolutely incredible about this program is that it takes the exact same sports psychology frameworks used by Olympic champions and applies them directly to soldiers. We aren't reinventing the wheel here. We're just taking proven elite performance science and giving it to the people who need it the absolute most. The curriculum of this program focuses specifically on 6 core mental skills. You've got mental skills foundations, building confidence, goal setting, attention control,
energy management, and imagery. By mastering these, soldiers learn how to actively self-regulate their own nervous systems. They use vivid mental imagery to rehearse chaotic missions before they ever happen, so their brains have kind of already experienced the stress. They learn to manage their energy so they don't burn out, and they lock in their concentration to totally tune out distractions.
So the crucial point is that mastering those 6 foundational skills culminates in this ultimate peak state, mental agility. This is the ability to rapidly and seamlessly shift your focus when the bullets actually start flying. It is literally the difference between freezing up in limbic overdrive and staying sharp, adaptable, and lethal in a highly dynamic, life-threatening situation. Section 3. Mind over muscle, the data behind the training. Now, the military doesn't just run on theory, right? It runs on proven results. Psychological conditioning sounds great on paper, but we have to ask, does it actually work in practice? Well, to answer that, consider this number, 2,500. In 2008, a massive clinical trial was conducted at Fort Jackson involving over 2,500 basic combat training soldiers. Researchers seamlessly wove this mental skills training right into the daily duties of these recruits, just to see if it would actually move the needle on their real-world performance. And what's truly fascinating here is the time commitment required. We aren't talking about hours of deep meditation every single day. The recruits in the experimental group received just 20 minutes of mental skills training a few times a week. That's it. It's a surprisingly low time investment for the kind of results they were about to see. And this brilliantly illustrates those results, which were undeniable. The group that received the mental skills training didn't just exhibit better psychological resilience on paper. No, they actively, measurably outperformed the control group on physical soldier performance tasks. We're talking about dominating confidence courses and the grueling Army physical fitness test. Literally, by training their minds, their physical output actually increased. But the absolute most vital piece of data comes from the battlefield itself. Data gathered from Stryker Brigade soldiers who had actively seen combat showed something profound. Possessing these sport-related psychological skills, specifically things like energy management and structured planning, actually helped mediate the relationship between combat stress and indicators of PTSD. So this training isn't just making them better soldiers in the moment, it's providing critical long-term psychological protection for when they come home. To summarize everything we've unpacked today, I absolutely love this quote from the source material. Sports psychology isn't just an extra piece of the puzzle, it is the actual glue that holds all the other pieces together. Whether you are a soldier heading into combat, an athlete stepping onto the field, or honestly just a professional walking into a high-stakes boardroom, your physical skills can only take you so far. Your mind is and always will be your most critical weapon. So I want to leave you with this final thought to apply to your own life. Look back at those 6 skills we discussed earlier. Which of the 6 core mental skills do you need to work on the most? Is it your energy management, maybe your attention control under pressure, or building your confidence? Take a page from the Tactical Athlete Playbook and start training your mind with the exact same rigor you train your body. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you some powerful new tools to think about. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.